we don't know a whole lot about David yet. We know a whole lot about Saul, right? Is he a good guy? He totally doesn't listen. Now, so today we're going to learn a little bit about David, okay? And one of the most famous stories in the whole Bible is what? David and Goliath, exactly. All right, you ready? Here we go. 1 Samuel, chapter 17. Say 17. 17. Now the Philistines gathered their forces for war and assembled at Succoth in Judah. You should not be talking when I'm talking. They pitched camp at these places, and Saul and the Israelites assembled and camped in the valley of Elah and drew up their battle line to meet the Philistines. The Philistines occupied one hill, and the Israelites occupied another hill. And what is in between two mountain hills? A gorge. What else would you call that? A valley. Exactly. Good job. It says, with the valley between them. A champion named Goliath, who was from Gath, came out of the Philistine camp. Which way did I say the Philistines were? Over here? So the Philistines were all over here, and this big, tall guy. I love this stage. It makes a good noise. And this huge, tall guy named Goliath came out of the Philistine camp. He was over 9 feet tall. Now, I got my measuring tape out, and from right here to right there is 9 feet. Okay? Now, Now, I'm 5'8". Is Goliath taller than me? Man, so I don't ever do this, you guys, but this is how I put it up here. Ready? So this is where Goliath's head would be. Whoa, that is really tall, isn't it? All right. He had a bronze helmet on his head, and he wore a coat of scale armor weighing 5,000 shekels. Do you know how much that is? 125 pounds of armor. I weigh 150 pounds, and so shave off 25 pounds off of me, and that's how much weight would be on a guy. It would be like me on Goliath's back like this. That's how much his armor would weigh. His legs, he wore bronze greaves, and he had a bronze javelin on his back. His spear shaft was like a weaver's rod, and its iron point, which would be this right here, was 15 pounds. Now this is pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy. Cole, can you come up here for a second, Cole? Oh, no. Cole, stand right here. Okay, put your arms out. Okay, I'm going to lay it like this. Okay. Is that pretty heavy? Yeah, can you put it over your head? All right, put it down. All right, good job. All right, Cole, good job. All right, I need somebody who's big, tall, and mean. Bowden, you fit the picture, man. Come on, Bowden. I know, Bowden. I'm typecasting you. All right, Bowden, grab that hat right there. Okay, put that on. That's the back, by the way. So that'd be the back. So that's the front. So turn it around. All right, good job. All right. Now, you got to hold this. It's heavy, isn't it? Okay. Now, you need to, I know you're already pretty tall, but I want you to stand on here. I'm going to angle you a little bit. Stand like that. All right. Now, I know this is kind of a puny sword, but imagine this is huge. Okay. All right. Now, I need a mean, like mad, you're going to kill somebody face. Oh, he's too nice. I got the wrong guy. Okay, there we go. All right, good job. All right. See, deep down, Bowden really is a nice guy. Somewhere down in there. Your brother doesn't think so. I'm just kidding. All right. Goliath, listen, this is the part, ready? Goliath stood and shouted to Israel's over there, and there's a valley right here, okay? He stood and shouted to the ranks of Israel. He said, well, I'm going to read it to you. You just act like you're saying it, okay? So I'm going to stand behind you. Yeah, just like that. All right, ready? Why do you come out? No, don't look at me. Look at those guys. Be like those guys are crazy, you know. Why do you come out and line up for battle? Am I not a Philistine? And are you not the servants of Saul? Choose a man and have him come down to me. If he's able to fight and kill me, we will be your subjects. But if I overcome and kill him, you will come and be our subjects and serve us. Hey, nice job. Good job. This day I defy the ranks of Israel. Give me a man and let us fight each other. Hey, all right. Now, all these guys over here saw this really, remember the guy so Bowden isn't that tall, but see how tall he would be? Okay. And here's all the Israelite people. So Saul, right? They're doing this. Right? Now, pause. Who is head and shoulders taller than all the other Israelites? Helen? Saul is. So if I'm an average Israelite, right? How much taller would Saul be? So head and shoulders, right? He would be this much taller than me. So he would be, I'm right here, he would probably be right there. That's probably, so Saul is only doing this to Goliath. Hey, what's up, bro? Good to see you, man. He would be like this. Hey, man, you're not that big. Where all the other Israelites are like this. We're puny. We're really puny. Right? So Saul's more like this. So who should have been the one in the Israelite to go, you and me in the valley right now? Who should have been doing that? Annie? Saul. On hearing the Philistines' words, Saul and all the Israelites were terrified. Saul, who's supposed to be, was a little scaredy cat? Yes, he was. So, guess who is going to, guess who's the next character dude who's going to be king, but he isn't king yet? What do you think? Darren. What's his name? David. Come on up here, Darren. You want to play the David role? Come on. All right. And here's David. Remember last time he was crowned king, right? Or no, he was anointed king. All right, so David, you're over there hanging out. Now, David's hang on. I know you're playing the part, but just hold tight just a minute. David's actually at his family's house, tending sheep, and his older three brothers, Eliab, Abinadab, and Shammah, they're over here freaking out about Goliath, right? And David comes because David's dad, Jesse, sends David to the battle to bring his brother some food. So little old David, runt of the family, little boy. You okay, Liv? What are you, imaginary something there? Livia's doing this. All right. Jesse said to David, go bring this food to your brothers. They're with Saul. So early in the morning, David left the flock, okay? And then he came to the battle right there. He reached the camp, and they were about to shout the war cry. And Israel and the Philistines were drawing up their lines, and out comes Goliath. Boom, boom, boom. Where's my little clicker? All right. Sorry. Who's not scared of him? Hey, David? How do you know that, Sebastian? Man, it's so freaky. So for 40 days, before David came, for 40 days, Goliath kept coming down every day to challenge one person. Now, this was called single combat. So instead of, let's say you guys are all the Philistines, and you guys are the Israelites, instead of all of you dying, or all of you dying, they just pick one person, and then those two people fight. Whoever wins, wins. Whoever loses, loses. That way only one person dies, and not thousands of people. So guess who the Philistines picked to be their champion? Goliath. Guess who the Israelites picked to be their champion? No one. They're all freaked out. No one's like, hey, I'll do it. So David shows up, and he's asking a bunch of questions because he heard Goliath say, you bunch of weenies, come and fight me, I will kill you. And David, you think David's smaller than everybody? David's probably, We're not quite sure, but I imagine he's probably a little bit smaller than me or maybe about my height. So David is like twice his size. And who of all the Israelites isn't scared? Everybody? David. David is not scared. Listen, as David was talking with his brothers, Goliath came out and shouted his usual defiance, and David heard it. When the Israelites saw the man, Goliath, they all ran away in fear. David's like, well, why isn't anybody fighting him? Ready? Ready? So say that. Ready? Why isn't anybody fighting him? Right? And the people said, well, we're all freaked out about him. And David said, well, what will I get, or what will the person get if they beat Goliath? And they said this. They said, you'll get lots of money. You'll get Saul's daughter in marriage. You'll get a wife. Woohoo! Yay! You excited? All right. And you'll never have to pay taxes, ever. Woohoo! Diane, that would be awesome, huh? Keep all the money that you guys make. That would be, not have to give any money to the government. Woohoo! All right. So David goes, I could take Saul on. So news reaches King Saul. Goliath. Thank you. So news reaches King Saul that David wants to fight. What are you leaving me for? Right. Saul hears that David wants to fight, and David goes to see King Saul. And Saul says, but you're just a boy. And David's like, so what? He's defying our God. We got to take care of him. And Saul's like, but you're just a boy. And David goes, so I've killed a lion. See? When a lion or a bear came and carried off a sheep, I went after it, struck it, and rescued. When it turned on me, I seized it by its hair, struck it, and killed it. Your servant has killed both the lion and the bear. Because, Helen, you've killed a bear before, right? Duh. Everybody does that. Right, Trevor? I mean, I just killed a bear last night. No big deal. So, what did Mr. David do? He looked at a lion and said, ha, die. And he died. And he looked at a bear, Cole, and he killed the bear. Why? Because they were attacking his. And his job as a shepherd is to what? Protect. And so Goliath is trying to attack his people. And what is David going to do? Protect God's people. So Saul tries to give David his armor, and David says, no, I don't need it. So David gets 5 stones and his sling. I'll show you that in just a second. And then shows up in the valley, comes to Mr. Goliath, and he says this. I got to show you this on the screen. David has an awesome speech. You ready? Now you're looking at Goliath, and you're mad. I mean, you're ticked. You are like so strong. You're trying to strike fear into the heart. No, he's right there. All right, ready? You come against me with sword. No, excuse me, this is David. You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you, ready? You'll be able to fight. This day the Lord will hand you over to me, and I'll strike you down. Today I'll give the carcasses of the Philistines to the birds of the air and the beasts of the field, and the whole world will know that there's a God in Israel. So who's David fighting for? Himself?
No, Israel.
He's fighting for Israel, who is God's people. He's doing exactly. Now, how many of you guys know that David used a slingshot, right? He grabbed 5 stones, and he put a stone in a slingshot. Now, how many of you guys think that what David did is he pulled his slingshot back, aimed, and he fired it? No, they did not have rubber bands back then, right? They were called slingshots. David would be known as a slinger, and what slingers do is they get 2 leather straps with a pouch. I'm going to show a video here in just a second, and they would take that, and they would do a special movement, and they could fire, and it was almost the same speed as a bullet. They could throw stones that far and that hard that it was almost as strong as a bullet. You guys want to watch? Okay, so David, you got to look at the screen. I found a video of a guy slinging. You ready? Here it is. Now he hits it. He hits the target. So hang on. Now, next one, he's going to hit a bullseye. Boom. Cool. So David did not stretch it back, but he slung that sling like this, let it fire, and, hold on, I got to read you the exact part. As the Philistine moved closer to attack David, okay, Bowden, move closer to attack David. David ran quickly, reaching into his bag, taking out a stone. He slung it, struck the Philistine with the rock on the forehead. Boom, I'll take the spear. Now you fall down. Oh, man. David, nice job. Okay, now hold on. You got to act this out. You ready? David ran and stood over him. He took hold of Goliath's sword, drew it from the scabbard, and he killed him. Stab him. Just don't hurt. Yeah, there you go. Okay, good. After he killed him, no, keep the sword. Keep the sword. After he killed him, he cut off his head with the sword. Okay. You guys haven't seen this in your cartoon versions, have you? You ready for more? You ready for more? Okay. When the Philistines saw that their hero was dead, they turned around and they ran. How did you know that? Then the men of Israel and Judah ran after them and they killed them. Cool, huh? All right, hold on. David took the Philistine's head. So now act like this is his head. David took the Philistine's head, brought it to Jerusalem. Are you wearing his head on your head? That's disgusting. And he put the Philistines' weapons in his own tent. And everybody says, ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, David! Woo! Jack, have a seat. All right, Darren, give me a hand. Come on, buddy, good job. Everybody give Darren a big hand. That was awesome. All right, good job. All right, David, we're so proud of you. David, so proud of you. All right. Goliath, Bowden, get up. All right, good job, man. Way to go. Thanks for dying. Thanks for being big bad to me. All right, good job. All right. Okay. Okay. So, do you think were people happy about Saul? Or were they happy about David? If Saul, I know it's exciting. If Saul would have been the one who killed Goliath, who would be happy with Saul? Everybody. They would be like, yeah, you're even better than we thought. This is awesome. But Saul wasn't the one who was the one. They have this, hey, boys. There's this little kid who just beat a huge, tall guy. And everybody is going to start saying, go, David, Saul. Go, David, Saul. They weren't like, boo, Saul. They were like, Saul's okay. Yay, David, Saul. Who's going to, if somebody was, you were king, you were the boss, and all of a sudden there was a new person, everybody was like, yay, they're awesome. And you're like, oh, man, I'm supposed to be awesome. What do you start to get? What? Jealous. Uh-oh. When you get jealous, do you make good decisions? Or do you start making even more bad decisions? Yeah. So from the next time we do this, so we have 3 more followers. And the next 2 stories, we're going to end on 2 more stories. And Saul starts to do things you would never think a good king would do. But he's not a good king. He's what? He's a bad king. And David has all kinds of opportunities to kill Saul. And guess what? He doesn't do it. And you guys all know the end of the story because he told you in the video, right? He said, who dies at the end of Samuel? Saul. And he didn't say he just died. He died a grisly death. Let's pray. God, it's awesome. Shh. Remember when I said we pray, we actually close our eyes and we close our mouths. Okay? All right. God, thank you so much that you included a story like this. And it's not just about beating tall people, but it's about a young man, David, who didn't care about his weapons or how tall Saul was, or he was the only one out of everybody who wasn't, Saul Goliath, he wasn't afraid. And so God, I know all of us can be afraid sometimes, and we need to be a whole lot more like David and trust in God, not in our fears. In Jesus' name.